Welcome to another episode of The Martin Show. We've got a special guest today. I'll introduce you. You might see this man. Actually, you might know this man as Jack Hanna, starring on Shortland Street's prime television show, Shortland Street, from 2014 to 2023. I don't know how long that is. I think that's 9 years. I don't know how you did that, brother. I introduce you, Reuben Milner.
He hata kope mauri mo stroke.
He aha kia koe.
He mate patu.
Kaori.
He mate patua.
Hey, thank you very much.
My bro, welcome to The Martin Show.
Welcome, brother.
Oh, man,
welcome.
I did my research.
Pleasure to have you on, my bro. Pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, boys. When I saw you guys get this up and running, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome to see in like so many different kind of variations. You know, everybody there's so many podcasts coming out today, but it's like a good thing. You know, we all need to see everyone's different perspectives on, like, you know, from everyone's different view on life, or like what's helped them and things like that. So it's awesome to see like more and more people and people close as well.
Exactly, bro. We've wanted to do it for ages. It's just about doing it, eh? We're just like, man,
Hard out.
share our gifts, as we say. But, bro, I haven't seen you for probably like what, since last year? Probably about 9 months?
Yeah, did I see you when I left, Shorty?
Yeah, but not your last day, but it would have been like since May. So it's been 9 months, I reckon.
Yeah, it could have been like almost a year that we haven't seen each other. But
Wow. Well, I've had the privilege of getting to know both Jack Hanna, Rubes' character, and more importantly, Rubes himself. But how has life been, bro, since then? So what, 10 months since I haven't seen you?
Yeah.
What's been happening?
Close to a year since I've left, Shorty. We're in February now. So yeah, March, I think it was March the 15th or something, March 20th that I left, Shorty. Life's been good, bro. I'm not saying that in the point like, oh my gosh, I was like leashed up when I was on Shorty and stuff like that. It's a slog, bro. Like as you know, bro, 100%. It's a slog. It's kind of never ending. You do get your gaps where it's like, you know, your character's not busy on the storyline, so you'll have less time in at the studios during the days, which is kind of nice. But then there's also those times where someone will get sick while you've got those free periods, and then all of a sudden you're getting a 2-hour call up, and then you're like, you need to learn like 10 scenes in 2 hours. Yeah. So it's like, whoa, hold on a second. I'm supposed to be having like the today and tomorrow off with one rehearsal on Friday.
Expect the unexpected sort of
minute, the rest of your week you're bloody working.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good, bro. It's been good. I've obviously put on a lot of weight, good weight.
Looking good, my bro.
Hey,
looking
put on a
good.
lot of good weight, bro. So
Looking healthy, looking strong.
yeah, focused more, like, you know, got more focused into my life, and like, you know, you can call it selfish reasons, but you know, I just want to be better for myself.
Mana.
And I've kind of, you know, my mind's opened up now. My mind's opened up to like what the possibility is to be, bro. Like, who wants to kind of sit around, you know, just doing nothing. So I came to the realization that I want to be my best self, physically, mentally, nutritiously, all of that stuff, bro. And it all adds together, you know, and like having time outside of, after leaving Shorty and having all that time, bro, it's like, I've just been full bore into that. So it's been good. It's been a good life, bro. Moved back up north to Whangarei.
Yeah. Oh,
it's good, bro. There's a beach like in every direction about half an hour away.
I've seen you been at the beach.
yeah, they've been beautiful, bro. It's beautiful beaches and stuff like that as well. Like I'm very lucky. Me and my family are very lucky to have like a hardworking. My pop was a real hard worker. He's passed away. He passed away a long time ago, but he was very hard worker, and he set our family up by getting us like, you know, another house that's out by the beach, bro. And like, I feel super blessed to be able to, like, you know, when a weekend that I'm not doing anything, I can go out there and it's almost like a holiday because, you know, I feel blessed. It's so good, you know. It's about I don't know, like 2-minute walk to the beach, bro. It's just around the corner. It's about 100 meters away.
How beautiful.
Yeah, no, bro. The North life is just so like peaceful, and it's just what you need. And like, you know, it's the beaches, the bush, just quietness. It's all good for, like, you know, raising your vibrations, bro, and just like grounding yourself.
Oh.
Did you always grow up in Whangarei? You were born and raised there?
No, so I was born down here in Auckland.
Yep.
And then I went to primary school here. So I lived here for 10 years and then moved up north when I turned 10. Yeah, so I went to intermediate and high school up there. And then, shortly after that, straight after high school, came back down here to pursue the life on screen. It's been, one hell of a journey, bro. Got to meet some wicked-ass people.
Oh my bro.
That rolls on to my a question I wanted to ask. How was it working alongside Zaki? Sharing your guys' gifts on the TV screen.
Zak's in his fight week now, so he's like,
bro, just a shout out, a disclaimer. I got my nose is a bit thing, my eyes a bit thing, and everyone's
what you say? I got my sparring session in this morning, but I can have another one. No, it's good, bro. Now, when I was working with Zak, it was kind of like, it wasn't a forced relationship or anything like that, bro. It's one of those relationships where you have like a good workmate, and it's natural, where we just kind of figured out we're the same people. It's those ones where you're talking on set, or like this is probably most workplaces where you just say something and then you're like, like the little side look, and then you're both cracking up, and then the assistant director's like, okay guys, come on, we need to get into the mood, and then we're like, oh, can't stop laughing, and then just like those side, like, oh, sneaky ones. But the first time we met, we were shooting Desdemona and
Grant, Damo's
wedding, with the drag and stuff like that. And that was the first time I met him, and I think, he was on stage. You were on stage, just like going over your lines in your head and stuff. And I think I rocked up to you full drag. Was I in full drag?
Bro, Jack was a dragger, like doing dancing and stuff.
Drag queen, right? Drag queen. So it was me, Theo, and Marianne that dressed up in drag. So I like, what's up, brother Reuben? Nice to meet you. You're like, oh yo, that's right.
I was like, oh, what am I getting myself into?
But no, that was, and ever since then, it's just kind of been natural. We kind of, we're similar people. And, just kind of same. We just had the same vibes. Just,
bro.
Humble, but also like a little bit outspoken, and just really a little bit of like naughty, dirty kind of talk. A little bit cheeky and shit like that, bro. And then,
but I'll be honest, it really helped me because it's kind of like a nerve-wracking thing going into any sort of new mahi, going in, but particularly going into an organisation like that, a system like that I had never been in. Rubes definitely helped me and kept me grounded, and always he was like my tuakana. He was like my big bro that if I ever needed a kōrero to speak about something, I'd always go to him. And we had some crazy kōreros,
Yeah, bro, some real conspiracy theory.
Zaki's told me.
I was telling Jakey, I was like, bro, we had Rubes opened my lens about some things, and I feel like it's important to have those people. Like I'd feel sorry for someone going into that place who, I don't know, didn't have maybe a mentor or someone, and Rubes was definitely that guy for me. So
bro. No, I definitely had those too. Like when I first started, even though he was younger than me, like the bro KJ, he was on there. Oh, bro, maybe a few months earlier. He got in maybe the December. Oh, no, it might have been like August or something before I started. So it was like he had been there for a few months, but he's naturally just like just chill as guy. But our first, because when I first went in there to do scenes, I think I did a rehearsal, and then we were lucky enough to have Miranda Harcourt. Shorty got her in, and we were doing some lessons with her.
Wow.
And it was like me, KJ, this girl Sophie, and this guy Robbie Everson as well, and we were all in a room just doing like acting lessons with her, and it's like all free, and it's like, wow, we just got free acting lessons with Miranda Huggle. I was like, oh my gosh, and I'm getting paid actually.
Wow.
So it was like real nice. But after that, me and KJ would just hang out, bro, and every time I went to Shorty, we'll just chill, and he kind of helped me with the getting more comfortable being there, around, because I just went in and I didn't know a single person that was in that Shorty. So it's like, I had to learn who these people are. And obviously when you're an actor, you get to know the actors first,
sure,
and then you get to know everyone else.
Yeah.
But then just seeing him, how natural he was around everyone, everyone, the wardrobe,
But it's one of those
makeup.
things that you wanna be yourself, you wanna be friendly, you also don't want to step on anyone's toes. It's
Yeah.
kind of like everyone already has their own circles and
Exactly.
things, you know, and
You don't know how serious people are
Yeah,
about their job and
for
stuff
sure.
like that. Because, you know, you have actors that they're not mean, but sometimes they'll just be, you know, they'll just be in the zone and things like that. And
Yeah.
you kind of like step into that and then, it's like...
everyone's got their own process, right?
Yeah, yeah. And when
When it
you're in
comes
the
to the
zone
mahi.
trying to do that, it's like you can't realize it, and you just be kind of chilling there, and then you go to talk, and then you don't get a response, or like maybe like a delayed response or something like
Yeah.
that, and you're just like, oh, did I do something wrong? So no,
Yeah.
they're just in the zone.
But that's why I think we clicked relatively quickly, Rubes and I, because the sense of humor, I was like, he'd crack a joke and I'd be like, oh, it would make me feel a little
Feel
bit more
better.
relaxed. So then I was able to, it actually helped me even with my mahi. I was like, because now I feel a little bit more relaxed. Let's just have a bit of fun with whatever scene that it was or whatever. I actually I remember doing a haka, bro, and Rubes was there watching and he was like, and then after that he comes
That was
up
your
to me.
first scene,
That was
wasn't
one
it?
of my first
First
scenes.
scene. I
Yeah,
remember.
bro, and he gave me a bit of aroha since then.
I remember that.
Bro, speaking of Shorty, and you having all this, I guess, time to yourself and peace in regards to being up north and whatnot, do you think you've reflected on the 9 years or, you know, all the time that you gave that place? Because, bro, that's a long time. You know, you
Yeah,
think
cut out.
about, it's a massive percentage of your life.
Yeah.
And so have you reflected on that time?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, it wasn't until I left that I realized there was like, I've been a part of so many storylines.
Yeah.
So when you're in there, you're like, just focus on the storyline you're on now, and then you're on to the next storyline, and then you just continuously going like that. And I left, and then there would be times where I'll just reflect and be like, oh, bro, my character was in an aeroplane crash. Like, you know, he also lost his sister, his brother, his dad. Like, his mum almost died.
Bro.
He's had like a new mum, and then he's got a little brother that's a baby and things, and then you remember everything that the characters had and gone through, and I was like, shit, that's right. I remember doing that episode all the way out in the bush there, or like down the flats. Like when we did that plane crash one, that was out west where they do the skydiving.
Helensville?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it was literally just off the side of the runway, and this like amongst the toy and stuff.
Yeah,
and
wow.
They just put a plane in there that they had.
Yeah.
And it like missing a wing and things like that. And then we just shot it out there. And that was real cool. It was cool for me during the day, on that day, because like my character didn't have a lot to do.
Yeah.
He was just injured, and he was just there kind of like on death's door.
Yeah,
just not doing anything.
yeah.
And they had this tarp over me, bro. So I was just chilling there on this hot day, like, this is real nice. This is real nice. But then you see the episode come out and you're like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I did a little bit more. And then you go to shoot it again, and you're like, that's what they do. Like if you want to be on screen more, you have to do all of that. So it's like, it's a heavy
It's the balancing act, bro. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so there's so much more work obviously put into when you're on screen more.
It's crazy when you're not that involved in the scene or the story, and you're like, man, I want to do more. And then when you are doing more, you're like, oh man, I wish I was just
can I
chilling.
have a break,
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
And then so all of you fellas that are watching at home, if you see people on screen more, that's like multiple different camera angles, especially on Shorty. If you see that they're shooting on location, oh my gosh, shoot one way, and then we're packing up everything to move all the way over to the other side to shoot it again, and then move over here and lighting everything. So it's like,
Full on,
that,
eh?
no, it's full on. And it's like each changeover from
Setups.
angle,
Yeah.
setups, they take about 10 to 15 to 20 minutes to change over, and then
Shout out to the crew,
I was
eh?
about to say shout out
Shout out
to
to
those
the crew, man.
lighting, camera, art department. Bro.
Oh, dude.
They do the real slog.
The crew do the mahi, eh? They do the we got the hard and easy job.
Yeah.
Hard and easy job.
Yeah, no, but it's funny because like we're pretty humble guys, and it was just natural for us when they're doing that changeover and stuff for us to kind of get up and start trying to help us.
out.
And then you see that you quickly learn that they jump and they're like, no, leave that. Leave it. No, we have to do that. And it's like, oh, I can just like lift it over there. No, just sit down and just wait. And it's like, oh.
Bro, the worst things I hated about it was when they put the marks down and like they have to move the marks. The marks, they're like, so markings, you put down a mark for where the actors are standing. And when the crew, if you have to move your position, the crew have to, they're by your feet and they move the mark, move the tape, and then they move it for you. And there's times where, as the actor, you're just like, all you have to do, bro, you just take one step to the right, whatever the director where he wants you or she wants you, and you just move the mark. Like there was times where, and I would hate it, bro. I would hate it when they'd be on their knees, they'd bend down and they'd move the mark. It was just like it felt like a hierarchy thing, like and I don't know. If that was me personally.
It's definitely like in another perspective, it's a lot harder. You don't kind of realize it at first, but it's because they'll move the mark and then you're all of a sudden like an extra meter away from like the person you're talking to on screen. So then you're like, oh, this doesn't feel right. And then they'll go to a new angle and then they'll move you back. And then all of a sudden you're like almost 50 centimeters away from your face. And you're like, oh, I just feel like this is a bit close. And it's like, no, the camera looks fine.
Yeah.
And it looks all good. It looks perfect on the screen. That's exactly what we're looking for. And it's like, oh, okay. Hello. Say a line. And so that kind of froze you for a bit because you do these multiple setups. Yeah. And you also do like, you do your act and then acting from a different kind of distance like throws you off a little bit. Yeah. So it's like you always get something a little bit different because if you're putting your hand on their arm, it's like right there compared to like when they're far away, it's real awkward. You have to like really stretch over, and it's like, now my shoulders brought me down here, and now
eye lines, Or eye lines of there, and then they move over there, and you're like, oh, I'm talking to absolutely no one, but let's go.
Or they'll walk off, and then they'll like put their hand up for like a view, or like sometimes you'll be doing a scene where you're talking to someone that's like right next to the camera, will have to be right next to them. Yeah. So it's like the cameraman will be like, oh, you don't have to stand here. And it's like, well, what am I going to look at? Yeah. And the cameraman just like chucks up their hand over here. It's like, that's their head. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. I'm talking to a hand.
Really testing my acting now. That looks like my partner.
Rubes, I'm going to dive into a bit of a deeper question. How was it acting as a gay character on Shortland Street?
Yeah, and I think people should know that Reuben himself.
Yeah. Sorry,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter, bro. Like I don't care about what people are out there thinking. Like for me, I've come to like when I was like a lot younger, starting Shorty, I was definitely like self-conscious about it. But like I know who I am.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I know that I can put out there for myself, and I know that that's not gonna ruin my life because, well, that's my fact. That's my inner, like I know who I am. So it's like people. That's people's. What would you call it, bro? Recognition. That's just kind of how they firstly respond. That's like the first thing that comes to their mind is I've seen that guy. I don't know what his name is on Shorty, but I know for a fact that's like, so that's their kind of, that's how they do it. It sort of gets annoying because people will be yelling across the street and it's like, oh, there's that gay fella. There's definitely like more respectful ways to approach people.
For sure.
That's like the main thing. But people, there's so many nice people. Like there was this young girl, if she's watching this, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it's Samara or Sahara. Young girl, and she just approached me in the supermarket, and she's like, "Excuse me, are you Reuben Milner, the guy who played Jack on Shortland Street?" And I was like, "Oh, normally it's just Jack, or the guy from Shortland Street." It's like, well, she's like she knows who I am personally, and probably from Shorty and stuff like that. But she was so like polite, and like. It throws you because you're so used to like, oh, Usha, Shorty, Shorty. Someone like that just feels like that's how they get across because, well, that's kind of New Zealander, That's just like, oh, Churba. Oh, yeah. Oh, you getting that? Yeah. Just to kind of yell it out and just to break that kind of first barrier. And it just kind of, normally, people would go to that direction because it breaks the barrier and it's like, kind of familiar, makes you more familiar to them.
Yeah.
So you'd say it to someone so that they'll feel more familiar to you. But then, like, obviously when you get it all the time, it's like, oh, okay, I'm looking for a little bit more politeness.
Oh, bro.
But yeah, no, honestly, most of the people are real nice. It's, you know, it's fair and few the ones that are not so polite. But I don't, I'm all good. When I first got the word, you know, I got pulled down to the producer's office, and they were just like to me, "Oh, we've been thinking about doing this with, I think it was Robbie Everson's character. They were like, we're thinking about doing it for him, but then didn't think it was right and stuff. So we thought it might be right for your character. We were just wondering, you know, what are your thoughts of if your character turns gay?" At that moment, like immediately, not being gay, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this."
And this would have been relatively early when you started?
Yeah, this would have been like after my first, like maybe 4-month stint.
Yeah, wow.
And then they were like, but like at that point, I was really, that's what I knew I wanted to do. I didn't know when the next opportunity would come.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that was the main thought, was like, I don't want to lose this job because this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then
this is an opportunity to enhance my craft.
Yeah. So I was like, immediately, I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I was like, actually, if I say no, is that it for me?
Yeah.
Is that it for me here at Shorty? Is that all I'm going to be able to do? Is that all they have for my character? They might not be able to take it any further. So yeah, I ended up saying yes for my career.
Beautiful.
Which I don't regret. I don't regret, bro. I've been through, like, you know, after that, I did another few months. After that, I might have done 1 or 2 months, and then that was kind of it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I just stopped.
Yeah.
Like I had no more Shorty, and then it was maybe 5 months, which is maybe 3 months. Back in those days, you know, time seems a lot longer than it is now. It might have been 3 to 4 months, and I didn't hear anything back from Shorty. I was like, that might be it for me anyway. And then they called me up and asked me to do another 6 months, and I was like, they've called back. I'm so stoked. I'm excited to do that again. And then I was just working, and then a week went past, and then they called me again, and they're like, we want to scratch that 6 months, and we actually want to give you a year's contract. I was like, that's even better. Yeah, I'll take that. And then they're like, yeah, cool. And your character's also going to get a new family.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're going to get a whole family around your character.
Always a good sign, eh?
Yeah, bro. And then those family members ended up being like quite iconic. You know, Curtis Hanna's real iconic.
100%.
Real iconic.
100%.
Pixie, even though she was not there for long, Thomason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, who's doing like so
Miranda's
good
daughter.
right now. Yeah.
Jared.
That was another thing as well. When Thomason came in, Miranda Huckle was around more, so we kind of had some more lessons.
Extra lessons.
For free as well. It's like,
I mentioned Miranda actually in episode 2.
She's amazing. Man.
Oh, man, one of the goats.
But yeah, so she was quite an iconic character on Shorty, even though it was just so shortly played, but she was loved. And then, her character died in like such a tragic way.
Yeah.
And so like everyone still remembers Pixie, even though she was only there for maybe like not even a year, I don't think.
Amazing. But that's what you want. You want iconic, memorable characters in memorable moments. And speaking of the Hannas, and speaking of your encounter with Samara, that beautiful wahine that you saw, I do want to go into this idea of fame. I want to talk to you about fame and I think it's important for people to know, like, New Zealand really knows the Hannas. You know, the Hannas were arguably one of the biggest whānaus in Shortland Street history. I'd say in the top, what would you say, like, you know, humble opinion, but I'd say in the top, maybe top 3, top 5?
Yeah, I'd say so, bro.
They'd be up there.
Yeah, they were definitely the most relatable.
Yeah. And so when I say that, and because you were on at a time where the viewership was crazy, you know, there wasn't so much big powerhouses like Netflix and Prime and Disney back then compared to now. There's a lot more competition now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I really want to just touch that New Zealand really not knows this man, not knows Reuben, but knows the Hannas and knows Jack Hanna. Well, they think they know Reuben anyway. But I want to know what your thoughts are on fame, bro. And has your thoughts on fame changed over time?
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was in high school and when I just left high school, like any young person's, I don't know if it would be dream or if it's just like an inner emotion that you have growing up and going through those important years of molding your brain. Like anyone wants popularity, right? Everyone wants to be kind of known in a good way.
Respected, eh?
Yeah, respected, exactly. That's exactly right, bro. And like talked about in a way, it's like, oh, he's like, doing all of this and he's like, oh, made it. And everyone wants to be talked like that and you want to be approached. And one of the things, or like, at that young age, it's like, going into the clubs and the bouncers like sees you at the back of the line. Oh, yeah, come straight in.
Yeah. Ooh,
That's like, you feel important. You feel important. There's definitely those benefits and you can meet people who you can do deals with because of it. It definitely gets old. Yeah. After a few years, after even a couple of years, I think, definitely. It definitely gets old because you lose your ability of just kind of going out into the streets and like anxiety becomes a real thing because before you leave the house, you're like, oh shit, am I going to run into anyone? Do I have the energy to even have a talk with someone? I don't want to come across as that guy to be like, no, I'm not that guy. Oh, go away. And things like that. And that's always, it's a self-conscious thing that I've had that where everyone's like, oh, who cares? Like, be within yourself. Doesn't matter. You can tell people to do that. And it's like, oh yeah, but who I've always been as a person is, just someone that doesn't, because I regret things immediately. If I get into a bad mood and I say something bad or like get angry at someone, I will be like so sad in like 10 to 20 minutes. I'll be like, why did I do that? I want to definitely run into that person again. Or like, if it's your brother or your sister, I'm like, I feel bad. Kind of thing. And it's only for that one moment where you feel like you can just grasp some sort of satisfaction. And then no one else is going to know that you just did that and like did that to that person. So they're all going to continue doing the same behavior because no one knows. They just know that you're Jack from Shortland Street and they're going to come up to you. So it's like, it's going to be a continuous thing. You might as well just like smile through it and then just...
Well, because you're human too. You're going to have those bad days. Like we were talking about it yesterday. Like we still have our bad days and you try and show up the best you can and, with the utmost respect. But some days as well, you just want to just get out of there. If you the gas station, you just want to fill your car up, get home. Or
when you're hungover and you're at the bakery, bro, you're just trying to get that blue doctor in a pie, and you just want to get in there. And now we have to resort to like hoodies up, and, tighten the drawstring, and then just like head down and like, please, steak and cheese pie, please. You're just trying to kind of get out of there. But and even in the summer, you're like, bucket hat glasses on. But it's just something that you have to deal with. But we've had like a taste of that here in New Zealand, which is kind of like a small speck of the world. So I can't even imagine what it's like for someone like KJ actually, Riverdale was popular before it even aired the first episode. Because they had that trailer and everyone was like, holy moly.
What's this new thing?
Who's this? Obviously fake ginger, ripped ass, athletic, good-looking man. And then he became real famous off that trailer because, he's undoubtedly an attractive, handsome man and very fit. With a mean six-pack.
He can play guitar.
Who's like talented. Who's talented as. So before that even came out.
Shout out to KJ Upper.
Yeah, shout out.
He'll be on the Martin Show one day.
When he's back in Aotearoa.
So I can't imagine what it was like for him. And I remember seeing maybe after the full season aired or whatever, I think he went to Europe or something like that. And on his Instagram, he was posting people coming up to him and like, he went to Paris and all these different places, and like everyone, no matter where he went in the world, bro, someone knows who he is, and they're gonna come up in like a way that's kind of like you're trying to chill. When you go on vacation, bro, that's like your opportunity to be a different person.
You can just
relax,
bro. Well, we went to Europe last year, and it was just an opportunity just to let loose.
That's what you loved about it, eh?
I loved it, bro. No one,
shoulders back, bro. No one's like looking at you from across the street.
Oh my god!
And you can just.
It was weird, bro. We were, I was in Croatia. And there were two Kiwi girls that came up to me. And it was in Croatia, bro. And I remember thinking, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And all my boys that I was with, they were like, nah. And we're like, ah. It was hectic, bro. But
Same thing happened to me in America.
Yeah.
I went to America and on
Far
Hollywood
out.
Boulevard, I think there. And then someone just kind of came around. There was like two girls and a guy, and they came around the aisle and they saw me and they're like, oh my God. And they rushed off. I was like, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
America.
America.
America, like, you got to be out of your mind. But then you also got to be like, as those people, because they didn't come up to me. They didn't say anything. It's like, you're in a different country and you're going to be like one of the only people that are going to be noticing. Surely you're going to be like, Shorty's not massive in America.
Yeah.
It's like, you'd go up to someone at that point, right?
100%.
You know, like, I wouldn't even feel bad if they came up. But yeah, so it's like, you're in America, like, just come up and say, like, are you that guy?
Yeah.
I'd be
Say
like,
what's
this
up.
is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening in another country.
Yeah, bro. No, I can't imagine what it's like for, like Israel, the Sonya and KJ
bro,
and all those guys. It
full
must
on.
be, fame must be, I don't. But respect is beautiful. I like that.
I'm definitely into like, you know, getting that once in a lifetime like action role. That's like worldwide kind of thing like
sure.
that. But another big thing that I've come to realize through acting and through getting to know the industry and stuff is that there's so many stories that need to be told here in Aotearoa. So many stories, bro. And then it's like, why isn't there so oftenly more programs? Why isn't there so oftenly more movies about things that, like, you know, who knows if they even write anything about ihumatao?
Exactly.
Things
History,
like that.
bro. New Zealand history. There's so much iwi and our tribes.
Exactly, and so
all
much
over.
like heartbreak, devastation. Like, you know, there's stories that can be told about your own iwi or your own marae and stuff like that. Like, I come from, my pepeha's up north is Takahiwai out in Bream Bay. And the reason they got that Takahiwai was the name Takahiwai's way back in the day. There was a clan rivalry with our clan and another clan. And what happened with was that they would get raided and they would raid. That was often, like, you know, we all know as Māoris that raiding iwi was a massive
common thing.
Yeah, it was very common. So I think at one point, the Takahiwai was getting raided and they had to bury a baby. They had to bury a live-born baby to keep it alive, to keep it away from the raids and stuff like that. And then, that people were, crossing, standing over this, you know, were coming over and walking over this where this little baby was buried.
Wow.
And that's, you know, Taka. So that's how we got our name. And so imagine telling that story.
Powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Powerful,
and there could be
yeah.
even more horrendous stories or like beautiful stories or like how iwi got their names and things like that could be told through movie, through series in New Zealand. And it's just a shame to see that. So that would be an awesome thing, bro. If you were to like win, if I was to win lotto or get like investments that would like pay out heaps, I would just go around to
Get that crypto wallet flying.
That's right, bro. But you know, if I was to come into a lot of money like that, that would be one thing that I would love to do. Is to go up to different marae and get backstories, and if it's all right with them, write about it, write it into a script, film it, put it out there so people get an understanding, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's people who start up north, and then there could be someone from the East Coast that'd be like, oh, we've got a really interesting story. Boom, now you're down at the East Coast. Now you're traveling and getting to know your own country.
And then get someone like Taika Waititi to help promote it. So then it can be a worldwide,
even,
that show to the world.
The world, so the world understands our culture. And
Exactly.
what came from our culture.
Bro, I
What's
think
that
Māori stories can be shown to the world. Like,
the industry's so long, you know, you're like, oh yeah, you're not only just like telling your story through actions and stuff and through this one program, it widens your brain to like how you can tell stories and what different types of stories you can tell.
Yeah, and different ways of how to tell the stories too. You know, it doesn't have to be just through a movie medium. Like there's multiple ways of how to tell stories.
But like the main obviously subject is history and stories. You know, everything that we're doing right now, like this podcast, will be a story.
Exactly, bro.
That we'll tell to someone.
That's
like,
what I
you
mean.
know.
There's multiple ways of how to tell stories. You just got to find the way that you love, you know, and it could be multiple ways. You know, I love telling stories multiple ways.
Exactly. Like, you know, there could be someone that comes up to me later down the track, I'll be keen to do a podcast. I'm like, oh, well, I went on this real shit podcast. Don't do it like this. Nah, I'm watching. Don't. I know you're a fight week. No, exactly. So that's, stories can make people better. They can open, and that's the one thing, is opening up doors into people's minds. They'll hear a story and they'll be like, didn't know that there was like things you can do like that. And and that's like actually going back to the first question you asked of how I am doing outside of Shorty. You get so locked into a system of how you think, and then like I obviously went through a bit of heartbreak as I was kind of just before I was leaving Shorty and stuff, and then I was like trapped in like a mental cycle for a few months and stuff, and then you leave that, and then you I had to get a job working up north. And then you come into a realization when you're healed within yourself, and you take that proper journey of healing, and as first things like mentally sitting with the pain, and then like, okay, so why do I feel like this? And just getting your inner self properly. And while you're doing that, make yourself fit. So you open your arteries and you open your veins, and you get more blood rushing to your mind, so you can be more, mentally savvy and clear. And then you get your nutrition right, so that you can further progress your physiques or like your health and things like that.
Water, well-being.
Exactly.
You spoke about it, bro. It's crazy. And then you find in your own healing journeys what works for you. As we were talking about before, not everyone's a David Goggins and going to run 200 miles.
And not everyone's you don't get a lot of, what's hard for me, bro, is I'm 6'4". So that's not like your average height. I guess your average height's like 6 foot to 6'2".
Me and Zaki aren't quite.
Average height's 5'11".
5'11" to 6'10". But there's not a lot of so right now I'm on a bodybuilding journey. I'm trying to put on some weight. I'm trying to stack on some muscle. That's what I've been wanting to do for a long time. There's no tall bodybuilding influencers. Right?
Yeah.
They're all like, you watch bodybuilders and things like that. If you look at Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, I'm pretty sure they're like 5'10".
Wow. Really?
Humongous. Yeah, you see them on
short?
stage because you're like, oh my gosh, they're ginormous, but they're all the same height. And so you think they're like these people that you're going to be like looking up to.
Yeah.
But they're actually these really small guys that are just super wide. Super wide. So it's like, come on, man, I need a 6'4" bodybuilder to be an influencer and tell me exactly how to look after your knees, please. My knees, man. My knees are suffering.
Yeah. No. Do you think with your healing journey that you took, or that you're still currently in, so you went from physical, getting your body right, and you think that transferred to getting your mind right, or did you do the other way around, getting your mind right and then the
I think
training
it was physical, and the physical helped with the mental, because it's like you need to get up and you need to go to the gym, bro. You need to go to the gym, even if it's just like, if you feel like shit, then drop the weight in half, and then drop the reps in half or something like that. And that's like, just going to the gym is the mental battle, right?
That's crazy.
That's
doing the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as you beat your mind and you get there, you feel amazing.
Yeah.
Like what they say about ice baths, about saunas and things like that.
All those things help.
Yeah.
Saunas and ice baths. I think
this
is the battle.
All that matters is as long as you're getting your heart pumping.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you can like clear your veins out, or just clear your mind. That's all that's important.
Even going for a walk.
Exactly.
Getting some sunshine. Bro,
sunshine is so important, bro.
So important.
Bro.
So important.
So
like,
important.
That's what one of the big deals was through COVID. Stuff like that was a lot of people were getting sick because they were deficient in vitamin D. No one had vitamin D, bro. You go out into the sun for like 30, 40 minutes, you've got your
circadian rhythm.
Yeah, I think exactly.
Andrew Huberman.
Andrew Huberman. What are we talking about? Andrew Huberman, baby. Tune in.
He's a very smart guy. Have you seen that guy shirtless, bro? He's beast.
Bro, he's a whipping.
Yeah, he's a
actually
monster,
haven't.
bro. Yeah,
But he trains.
because he normally wears these like button-up shirts.
Yeah.
I heard him saying because he has tattoos.
Yeah,
he has tattoos everywhere. So
he's
he
like a
likes it.
scientist as well, and
Yeah,
he's
bro.
a professor at
Stanford.
Harvard?
Stanford.
Stanford.
Yeah, bro, I love him.
People wouldn't guess it, and he talks so well, and he's proper and all
Bro,
of
he
that
does.
stuff. And
Very articulate.
He's just this beast, bro. I saw this one where he's on top of a mountain carrying this big boulder.
Yeah.
He's just like monster. I was like, oh shit, okay.
The balance of the whole masculine and all that, but he's also just like a very, I can feel his softness too. He's very
Yeah.
kind,
Exactly.
very intelligent, as you
Oh, yeah,
said.
that's a big part of people's like, oh, if I start going to the gym, I'm going to get aggressive. So no, you're going to release that aggression.
Yeah.
You're
calms
going to
you
release
down.
that aggression through physical stress that's good for you.
Yeah, bro. Well, that's a lot of people think boxing. Hey, they think that boxing's
calmed me
all
down personally
aggression,
so
and it's
much.
all. I think boxing, it's the opposite. Eh?
Definitely the
It's
opposite
like
comes. Yeah.
It's like a release.
Well, yeah, you can get. Well, this isn't a good example because I was talking about bodybuilders. You can see more angry bodybuilders. It's like, yeah, but that's because they're taking like 500 milligrams of testosterone.
Yeah. Steroids.
Like really like dodgy steroids and stuff. And
Yeah,
that's like
their bum
screwing
cheeks
what
are
they-
getting touched.
Oh,
eh?
Bellas, they are bellas. That's why we like to do a little like fun segment.
Oh yeah.
We'll start off a few more fun questions. Who are your top 3 actors in the world? Worldwide or Aotearoa, could be anywhere.
Definitely up there is Cliff Curtis.
Ooh,
Amazing, bro. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yo,
He is amazing, bro. He's wicked. And then, who else could I say, bro? Someone like Johnny Depp.
ooh,
Yo.
yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's an amazing
Versatile.
actor, and because of such like out there roles, and like it resonated with me because when I was growing up, I was such a just a weird guy.
yeah,
I'd just do weird ass things and then be like heaps of different people and pretending to be British,
Yeah.
pretending to be South African.
Yeah.
When I'm real young, because I was just like full of spunk, bro. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just being a weird guy.
Well, you can do whatever you want. Eh, the world is your oyster.
So when
you're
I
young.
saw him play Pirates of the Caribbean, and then all of a sudden you see him play Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I was watching those movies and stuff, I didn't even realize they were Johnny Depp. I was like, what the heck?
Jack Sparrow is so iconic,
So
eh, bro?
iconic,
Like you
bro.
think about that, and
Just facial control and
Yeah.
just little things. It's just that little. And that's all
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done. And
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
that's so powerful.
oh, bro,
He's
even
like,
thinking
that's
about
how,
it now.
that's so character building too. And it's like, he'd
the
just
hand
do that one thing.
gestures, and
They're talking and be like,
yeah, the pauses.
Ooh, here he
and
is.
it's just like, whoa, that's yeah. People who don't understand this, like, oh yeah, that guy's just like drunk 24/7. It's like, no, you don't understand.
It's craft.
He's done these minute little movements for people to be like, oh yeah, it's definitely a guy who's drunk or
Yeah, subtle
constantly drunk.
nuances, eh?
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
When you break the craft down, it's kind of hard to watch movies though, eh?
Yeah.
Now, because just like, oh, bro, how he did that one little, he moved his eyebrow a little bit. That was so cool. And you're like, what? Yeah. Other people are like, you shut up. Yeah. I'm just appreciating the craft. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm just appreciating the craft. Like, well, you're ruining the movie. I don't want to know about these minute things.
Yo, speaking of craft, what's are you still wanting to stay in the TV and film industry, or where's your mindset at?
I'm definitely
with that now.
Definitely keen to be in the industry. I know that I want to be in the industry. I don't know if I want to be an actor because, I don't mind fame, but fame definitely hinders your life.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. I definitely know that I do not want to be worldwide actor. I want to be, here's the thing, bro. When you're blockbuster, it's going to be a hard life, but then it's so attractive as an actor to just be able to to experience those kind of sets. Because so I'd love to be able to experience that high level acting on those kinds of sets and things like that. So
All the technology.
I know I definitely want to stay in the industry, but I think I'm more keen to build up the industry here in New Zealand. I'd love to keep being a New Zealand actor.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Yeah. I love being a New Zealand actor. That's awesome. And then, if the role's right for me overseas or something like that, then yeah, possibly. But I think it's more that I'm afraid of that worldwide fame.
Yeah. Fair enough
definitely.
too,
Because
bro.
I'd love to
Bro,
travel
hard.
and just be able to be a different person.
Yeah.
And just do something silly on the street. Not like law breaking silly on the street, but
Yeah.
just being an idiot.
Exactly. Just
So
being
an idiot
yourself.
with your friends and stuff about someone across the street being like, bro, look at what he's doing. Should we video it? Do you reckon we'll be able to post this online and stuff like that? Not a lot of people do that in New Zealand because it's it's not massive.
Chill culture.
Yeah, it's chill culture, bro. But it definitely has happened. But yeah, and it's definitely more bigger overseas. Like the want of viral fame.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's attractive for
A lot of people.
For a lot of people.
A lot of day-to-day people, you know, that's why TikTok's so massive now, because it's so easy to become such a viral sensation.
One viral video, and you know you can.
And
be
then
seen
that's
by
the
5
bad thing
million.
about TikTok is someone will make a video and get 1 million views or like 500,000 likes, and all of a sudden they're chasing that for the rest of their life. They're going to try chase that for the rest of their life, and then they're going to, if they don't have the creativity to do that again, they're going to start slumping down. You're going to go down a steep hill, bro, and it's just sad. But like, you know, there's some good original content on TikTok.
100%.
There's
Well,
some
bro,
good creators.
We started our own little TikTok waka, eh?
yeah, we did, but
I've
we
never
used.
actually downloaded it.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, on Instagram Reels, TikTok will come over like a month later.
Yeah.
The videos will come over later. And then
Bro,
I'll
we
see.
use it heaps for food.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many great recipes on there. Like if you're cooking whatever tacos, you can just
So you fellas both have a TikTok? Oh, you have a joint TikTok?
the Martin Boys
More like a lifestyle vlog. We just video like training, firing,
just like all our, I guess, passions.
passions.
But
Well, you definitely it seems like you TikTok has a lot more like constant people going on there than Instagram.
yeah, the thing about TikTok, bro, is it's very like I try to avoid it as a consumer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, I'm just
That's me on
I try
Instagram
my
Reels,
best.
bro. I'll be on Instagram Reels.
Yeah,
I'll just pick
bro.
it up and then like half an hour's passed.
Yeah,
Bro, it's bad.
Bro.
It's bad.
what about, because a big thing that and so talking about fame, respect, all those sorts of things, Jake and I have a few cordials on fuel, like, and so life now for you, what excites you now? Or what's your fuel when you wake up? What's your, we call individuals go-getters. All our guests on the show, we want them to be, well, people that we respect. Obviously I have a huge amount of respect and love for you, but we call them go-getters, people that just, they go out there and get it, whatever way that looks. It can be in any sort of way. And you might not even, right now, you might not have any fuel right now. Right now you might be, as you said, on your healing waka, on your journey of peace and recovery, which is beautiful. But what excites you now? The answer might be what excites you now is my peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I think what I look forward to most now is especially this year, is I've come back into the goal setting.
Yeah.
Definitely goal setting this year. Like one of the things I really want to do this year is travel.
Beautiful.
No matter where it is. Like, you know, the one place I do want to go is Bali again. I really want to go to Bali again, but I think I need to start a little bit smaller. First of all, my passport's been expired for about 6 years. It's been expired for 5 years, I think. But yeah, it's been the last place I went was Bali in like 2018.
Wow.
So it's been so long. But I want to go back there. That's so good. But I think I'm going to start small. All right, and I've been starting small this year, like, you know, just traveling up north to Paihia, traveling up to Russell. That's awesome.
Bro, and we have so much luxury here in Aotearoa, as you say, like
Beautiful
you've
spots,
traveled to
yeah,
all these different spots. Like, man, we talk about in episode 2 of our summer. We had a great summer, and it's just because of what you're saying, the spontaneous little adventures that sometimes aren't planned, sometimes are. But you're just doing things with people you love and essentially just making.
Oh, bro, the ones that aren't planned, when you're just like, oh, should we go down here? And then all of a sudden you keep traveling down further. It's like, yo, we're at the mount. Right now. We just came from Whangarei, and it's like, should we keep going? Oh, yo, all of a sudden we're in Whakatane. We're in Gizzy now. And it's like, what are we up to? We got work in like 5 hours. No. But yeah, no, I think that's how I'm going to start small, bro. Is just travel around New Zealand, possibly Queenstown. I mean, Queenstown doesn't really have anything fun for me personally, because I'm like more of a definitely sun enjoyer. Like I'm born in December.
Beach vibes.
Yeah. I'm like the sun and being warm.
Yeah.
But I definitely love a thrill, bro. I'd love to go do bungee jumping, all those
Skiing.
They got
all
a few
that,
things down there, eh?
Yeah,
Good old
the
Queenstown.
water boats. You know those.
Yeah,
boats,
jet boats.
Those look pretty cool, bro. But no, I've always wanted to jump off something and feel like I'm like falling, because I've walked as Manaia, which is my maunga up north in Whangarei. You can walk to the top of it. And then there's this one part where you can go off the track, and then you get this real nice view, which is maybe 2/3 of the height up the mountain. It's pretty much at the top, but you go off and then you're standing on this boulder, but then you like kind of look down all over it and you're like, whoa, that's like 300-meter drop to the bush. And then you're just like, oh, geez. And then you obviously there's that real tiny voice in the back of your head. It's like, jump, G. Imagine if you're the first person to fly. Just jump to it.
It's
and
true.
I
can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
You can be the first person ever in the whole entire world to just start flying. Yeah. Just unlock that potential just within, It's like, and then you're like, what is it, your frontal lobe?
Frontal cortex.
Frontal cortex. And you're like, you're an idiot. Yeah. There's no way you're going to do that. Like, look there. And it's like, imagine the falling sensation will be, cool. But imagine the landing.
Yeah.
You're not going to imagine it because you won't be here.
Yeah.
But so that's why I've wanted to do like, skydiving or do bungee jumping. That would be so cool. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, bro. So adventures. Adventuring.
Yeah. Not that I was going to do that for all my life, but everyone needs to.
Oh,
yeah.
got to, bro.
Everyone needs to experience that kind of adrenaline in your life, I think.
100%.
And I think everyone needs to not get into a street fight, but they need to get into, they need to learn how to go to a gym and learn how to spar or like learn how to like throw a punch or something like that, and then get into a controlled fight.
Yeah,
everyone needs to have that experience of getting into a controlled fight. So like even a spar is perfect.
Oh, bro.
If you want to compete, then that's like a new level. That's like, oh, yo, that's mean. You're amazing. But like if someone gets into some sort of real world fight where they're like, I need to protect myself or else I'm going to there's a possibility I'll die. There's just to get onto that like death's door brink feeling.
It doesn't even have to be boxing or fight. It can be even jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, exactly.
Anything
form of
like that.
martial art.
Like, oh my God, this guy's going to break my arm. I need to like activate every protective cell in my body.
But it's not the combat or the boxing or whatever, the craft you're talking about. You're talking about the feeling,
It's
the feeling that you get when you're about to, whatever it may be. There's a feeling that you get, like even feeling it this morning, even just for sparring, you're like, oh, yep, another man's in front of me.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, I'm keeping my outside. I'm shit scared right now. I'm like shit scared. I could get hit with something and then I could I'm out cold. You do that, bro. If you overcome that feeling, what is asking your boss for a raise and then or just going and applying for a job or something like that. It's like, bro, I'm not risking my life doing this. I'm not risking my health or my life going to ask this person for a job or going to ask this person for advice or going to, sit down and have a serious talk and things like that. You realize things that used to scare you, that were quite simple. Then you realize those are actually just something that I can just that's really easy in life because you've overcome the fear of possible danger physically.
100%, bro. And I think people misunderstand that idea of fear because some people think because someone like David Goggins are like, oh no, he doesn't feel fear. He's a hard man. He will still feel, everyone feels fear. Everyone feels it.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, it's training your mind to be like, actually, no. I can overcome this thing.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, again, looking over 300 drop, I feel fear. But there's ways of going about
fear.
it.
You will actually die if you jump out. Yeah.
There's ways of going about it. Do you want to ask Rubes the final question?
Yeah, I'll finish off. What is your weirdest encounter with a fan?
So I wasn't that well known. I was only just kind of like a side character. My family wasn't even in or anything. We were waiting for the Portaloos, me and my bro, and then there was this one. It's not even like a weird encounter. It's just what he said. He came out of the Portaloo and was doing up his pants, and he kind of looked up, and then he kind of walked past, and then he turned around to me, and he was like, "Oh, are you that guy on Shortland Street?" And I was like, yeah, I was at that time when I was like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I was like, yeah, brother. Nice to meet you. He's like, are you? And I was like, yeah, that's me, bro. Jack, yeah. And he was like, oh, bro, that's evil.
Yeah.
Evil?
Yeah, that's evil.
I've never heard that as a response before, bro. I was like, that's evil. And my bro was cracking up over here. And I was like, that's correct. You know how some friend groups just have what they say?
100%.
They just have
their own
words.
lingo.
Yeah,
eh?
exactly, bro. And I
Could
was
be
like,
from all over the country.
yeah. And I immediately thought, I was just like, I wonder if everyone in this friend group says that.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if everyone says, oh, yeah, bro, that's evil.
That's evil.
Casually, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to start using that word.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird fan encounter, but
No, actually, Rubes, I'll finish this off. I want to ask every guest this question. And it is, what would you say to younger Rubes? What would you say to your younger self? And it could be the Reuben that is just about to embark on his Shortland Street journey. It could be that 18-year-old, 17-year-old. It could be even Reuben that's about to start kura, even younger, start school. It can even be Reuben last year. Mm-hmm. What is the one piece of advice you'd say to your younger self?
I'd probably try to drill and just learn what it means to be disciplined. Learn how important it is to be disciplined. If I was to learn discipline at such a young age, bro, I feel like I'd be, because I've only just kind of learned discipline really. And going through Shorty, like I grew up only just seeing my dad here and there, like every so often and things like that. I never really had like a solid everyday male role model in my life. So that was like, and I feel like that's kind of where it needs to come from is your dad. Your dad needs to be that one. Not that I'm saying my dad's shit. You know, he grew up and he taught me how to be tough and he taught me, heaps of things, how to work hard and things and stuff like that. But I never got to see him every day to day. So I never got to kind of witness a lot of that hard work. Yeah. You know how you just like every single day you kind of pick up on it and you, as a young kid and your brain's a sponge, so you pick up on that. So another one thing, that I tell myself is make sure you just learn discipline and put it into action as much as you can so that when you're older, you'll be like, it's just going to be, I feel like if I had discipline at a lot of a younger age, then I wouldn't be such that people-pleasing person. I would have come to terms and accepted my inner self and me and things like that. So I feel like once you have discipline and you get yourself a routine that is good for you, then that's all that matters when you grow up. So if you're in high school and you can be disciplined and like, I'm not saying don't go see your friends. Have friends. That's one of the most important things for developing your brain developing social abilities. That's so important. But I think you can't just be like going to training and be like, I'm going to go and chill with the boys and stuff like that. It's like, no, you got to have your discipline, stick to it. Just your friends, although they might be like, oh, dumb, bro, you're dumb. Why are you going to do that? They won't be like that forever. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, I've done this one time, and you go see them at school the next day, and they'll be like, yo, what have you been up to? How was training? And stuff like that. They're not going to be like, bro, you were so dumb. I don't want to actually be here around you now because you skipped that. Yeah. And if they do, then that's them.
But I feel like we spoke about this in episode 2 about friendships and how, well, particularly with Jakey and what he's experienced in 2023 with his friend groups and sort of outgrowing and separating. And
that's hard, bro.
It's hard, bro. And
going through the process right now, really.
Yeah, still going through it.
It's hard, it's like I'm learning it's a part of life, Yeah. To grow.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly, bro. You just got to make sure that as long as you don't leave on hard terms, obviously. I had real type boys just when I finished high school and I was kind of starting Shorty, and I don't really hang out with those guys anymore. I'm not saying that they're all still in the same ways, but I definitely had to take a step back because it was more of just getting to the weekend, getting drunk every Friday, Saturday. Yeah. And doing those things. I love those boys. I still love those boys. And I never it's not a thing of leaving them and being like, bro, you guys are shit for me. Because those guys, they taught me a true meaning of
friendship. Brotherhood.
not just friendship, but love in friendship.
Yeah.
And it's just like these guys were hard. They're not getting, they're strong, hearty fellas, but they were like, you give them the longest hugs and they'll kiss you on the forehead when they're drunk and stuff like that. And even when they're thinking, they're just like, oh yeah, my brother, soft with you and thing. They taught me true love within friendship. And it's like, don't worry about like stereotypes and stuff like that. Just those are my like boys that help mold what it is to be like a true brother and brotherhood and stuff like that. So I really, really respect that time in my life. But then, also obviously you grow. Like I grew past that point because I had to move down to Auckland and they were all still in Whangarei. Like some of them came down to Auckland and I catch up with them there, here and there. But yeah, and you just grow up and you go on your own journeys. Like some of them are out too far to catch up. They've got families now. Most of them got families now. And it's just like, it's just too hard to kind of catch up. But on the inside, it's like there was no rough aparting from that friend group. So it's just like, they're always going to be key lessons to you. But so as long as you're not like going, screw you guys, bro, I'm better than you fellas, I need to get out of here. As long as it's just like, just slowly, it's just kind of a thing of
it's life.
Just moving away,
It's life, change.
If they're like, why aren't you hanging out so much? And it's like, bro, I'm just like busy. Yeah. I'm just trying to do this. I'm like putting discipline into my own life now. Like I'm not going to have a lot more time. And obviously what a lot of people say and who are great at their craft is like, if you want to improve your craft, you got to be around people that do the same craft. And if they're not doing the same craft, like, if they don't get it, then it's like that sucks for them. And that sucks that we had to part like this. But that's just life. And
well, there's that quote that I heard from Ngahuia, actually. She said it at one of her presentations, and she goes, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I was
that's
like,
not a Ngahuia.
Bro, I don't know who she
from someone else.
Hey, shout out to Nga. Shout out to Nga.
You definitely got that on some podcast.
I try to plug her and now Bruce is putting you down.
No, I love that.
Aroha, man, aroha. Well, that wraps us up. Well, Rubes, I just want to say ngā mihi to you, brother. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us a bit of insights into your life now.
Yeah.
And I can already feel your wairu. I can feel your spirit, your energy. You obviously seem like you're in a beautiful place.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
doesn't have to be this one-off episode. Joe Rogan has like multiple.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeners.
Brother, would love to chuck you back on and I don't know, 6 months, see where you are in your journey.
Exactly. I'd love to see how you are in 6 months with this podcast.
Ooh.
Israel Adesanya.
Oh, we're gonna say every episode until he's on. But
Thank you, brother.
thank you, brother.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, too much.
That's
We
us.
will see you next time. Shao whānau.
Love.
Let's go.